Diary of Saint Faustina Kowalska. Divine Mercy in my soul. First notebook. O love eternal, you want your holy image painted, revealing to us your mercy's unmeasured fountain, blessing all who come to those brilliant rays that glow. The blackest soul shall turn as white as snow. O sweetest Jesus, here you've raised up your mercy's throne to come to our aid and comfort sinners' souls. From your open heart as from the purest fountain flows consolation for repenting hearts and souls. And to this image our honor, glory, praise may the souls of humans never cease to hail, as every heart its tribute to God's mercy pays, now and forever and ever, all the hours and days. O my God, when I look to the future, I'm filled with fear, but why ponder on the future at all? For me, only the present is precious and dear. Times to come may never nestle in my soul. Times past are no longer within my powers. No past thing can I change, improve, or augment. Neither sage nor prophet can reverse bygone hours. Whatever the past contains to God must be sent. O present moment, the time given me which is my all, I wish to make full use of your respite as best I can, and though I am but feeble and small, you grant me the grace of your almighty span. Confident in your mercy ever shall I live, trusting like a child through this life I'll go. Each day in sacrifice to you my heart I'll give, for your greater glory with my love aglow. GMG, God and Souls. O King of Mercy, direct my soul. Sister M. Faustina of the Blessed Sacrament. Vilnius, 28 July 1934. O my Jesus, trusting in you, I am making thousands of garlands, and I know that they will all blossom forth, and I know they will all blossom when the divine sun shines upon them. O great sacrament divine, my God is hidden in your shrine. Jesus, be with me every moment, and I every moment thine, and fear shall never my heart entwine. Vilnius, 28 July 1934. My first notebook. GMG, God and Souls. Praised be, O most holy Trinity, now and for all time. Praised be in all your works and creatures. May the greatness of your mercy be glorified and honored, O God. I am to make a record of my soul's encounters with you, O God, at the moments of your special visits. I am to write about you, O unfathomable one, in mercy on my poor soul. Your holy will is the life of my soul. I have this order from the one who for me is your representative here on earth, who communicates your holy will to me. O Jesus, you see how hard it is for me to write. I cannot put into writing in a clear way what I am experiencing in my soul, O God. Can a pen describe things for which often there are no words? But you command me to write, O God, and for me that is enough. Warsaw, 1st of August, 1925. Entering the convent, the last time God called me, I had felt the grace of a vocation to the religious life ever since the age of 7. The first time I had heard the voice of God in my soul, inviting me to embark on a more perfect life, was when I was 7, but I didn't always listen to the voice of grace. I never met anyone who could explain these things to me. At 18, I begged my parents to allow me to enter a convent, but they firmly refused. After that refusal, I indulged in the vanity of life, not paying any attention to the voice of grace, although there was nothing in which my soul could find contentment. The continual calling of grace was a great torment for me, Nonetheless, I tried to stifle my calling with various entertainments. Inwardly, I avoided God and turned my entire soul to creatures. However, God's grace won in my soul. One day, I was at a dance with one of my sisters. When everyone was having a good time, my soul was going through spiritual torment. As I started to dance, I suddenly saw Jesus next to me. Jesus crushed with suffering, stripped of his apparel, and all covered with wounds. Who said these words to me? How long am I to put up with you, and how long are you going to keep me waiting? At that moment, the pleasant music stopped. I lost sight of the company I was with. Only Jesus and I were left. I sat down next to my dear sister, pretending that what had happened in my soul was a headache. After a while, I secretly left my sister and the company I was with, and went to the cathedral of St. Stanislaus Kostka. It was beginning to grow dark, and there were few people in the cathedral. Without paying any attention to what was going on around me, I fell prostrate on the floor in the form of a cross before the Blessed Sacrament, and begged the Lord to let me know what I was to do next. Then I heard these words, "Go immediately to Warsaw. There you will enter a convent." I rose from prayer, came home, and settled the things that were necessary. I confided to my sister as best I could what had happened in my soul, and told her to say goodbye for me to our parents, and so, with just the one dress and nothing else, I set off for Warsaw. When I got off the train and saw everyone going their own way, I was overwhelmed with anxiety. What was I to do? Where to turn to? I did not know anyone in Warsaw. I said to Our Lady, "O Mary, guide me, lead me." Immediately I heard in my soul these words, that I was to leave the city for a certain village. There I would find a safe place for the night, which is what I did, and found it, just as Our Lady had said. Very early in the morning next day, I went up to the city and walked into the first church I came across, and started to pray to learn what God wanted me to do next. Masses were being said one after another. During one of them I heard the words, "Go to see the priest, and tell him everything. He will tell you what to do next." When Mass was over, I went to the sacristy and told the priest everything that had happened in my soul, and asked for guidance which convent I should enter. At first the priest was surprised, but told me to put all my trust in God, that he would direct me. "Meanwhile, I'll send you to a certain pious lady, at whose house you are to stay until you enter a convent." When I arrived at the house, the lady received me very kindly. Then I started looking for a convent, but was refused wherever I went. I was heartbroken and said to Jesus, "Help me, don't leave me alone." Finally, I knocked on our door. When Mother Superior, now Mother General Michaela, came out to see me, after a short conversation she told me to see the master of the house, and ask if he would admit me. I understood immediately that I was to ask the Lord Jesus. I went to the chapel with great joy, and said to Jesus, "Master of this house, do you admit me? One of the sisters told me to ask you," and straight away I heard a voice saying, "I admit you, you are in my heart." When I returned from the chapel, Mother Superior first asked me whether the Master had admitted me. I said he had. "If the Lord has admitted you, then so do I," she said. That is how I was admitted. However, for many reasons, I still had to spend another year in the world at the house of that pious person, but I never went home again. At this time I had to battle against many difficulties, but God did not grudge me his grace. I was filled with more and more longing for God. Although the person at whose house I was staying was very devout, she did not understand the bliss of consecrated life, and in the goodness of her heart started to make other plans for me. Nevertheless, I felt that my heart was so great that nothing else would content it, so I turned with all the longing in my soul to God. It happened one day during the octave of Corpus Christi. God filled my soul with an inner light, enabling me to come to Him as the supreme good and beauty. I learned how much God loved me. Eternal is His love for me. It was during Vespers. In simple words, straight from my heart, I made a vow of perpetual chastity to God. From that moment on, I felt a greater intimacy with God, my bridegroom. Since that moment, I have had a little cell in my heart in which I have always dwelled with Jesus. Finally, the moment came when the door of the convent opened for me. It was in the evening on the 1st of August, the eve of Our Lady of the Angels. I felt extremely happy. I thought I had entered life in paradise. One big prayer of thanksgiving sprang up from my heart. However, after 3 weeks, I noticed that there was so little time here for prayer, and there were many other things prompting my soul to enter a stricter order. This idea settled firmly in my soul, but it was not God's will. However, the idea, this temptation, was growing stronger and stronger, so that one day I decided to tell Mother Superior and leave. But God handled circumstances in such a way that I could not get to see Mother Superior. I went to the small chapel before retiring for the night and asked Jesus to enlighten me on this matter, but received nothing in my soul. There was only a strange uneasiness engulfing me, which I could not understand. Notwithstanding, I decided that in the morning I would go straight after Mass to see Mother Superior and tell her of my decision. I came into my cell. The other sisters were in bed already. Lights were out. I came into the cell full of anguish and dissatisfaction. I didn't know what to do with myself. I cast myself on the floor and started fervently praying to learn God's will. Everything around me was as silent as the tabernacle. All the sisters were reposing like white hosts enclosed in Jesus' chalice. Only from my cell could God hear a soul groaning. I didn't know we were not allowed to pray in our cells after 9 o'clock without permission. After a while there was a bright light in my cell, and on the curtain I saw the extremely agonized face of Jesus. There were fresh wounds all over his face and big tears falling onto my bedspread. Not knowing what it was all supposed to mean, I asked Jesus, "Who has hurt you so much, Jesus?" He replied, "You will cause me such pain if you leave this order. Here I have called you, and in no other place. Here I have prepared many graces for you." I apologized to Jesus and immediately changed the decision I had made. Next day we had confession. I told my confessor about everything that had happened in my soul, and he said that clearly it was God's will that I should stay in this congregation, and I was not even to think of leaving for another order. Ever since that moment I have felt happy and contented. Shortly afterwards my health deteriorated. Dear Mother Superior sent me and 2 other sisters to Skolimov, a short distance from Warsaw, for a holiday. There I asked Jesus who else was I to pray for. He replied that the next night he would let me know who else I was to pray for. I saw my guardian angel, who told me to follow him. Suddenly I found myself in a dingy place full of fire, with a huge number of suffering souls. These souls are praying very fervently, but to no avail for themselves. Only we can help them. The flames tormenting them did not touch me. My guardian angel did not leave me on my own there for a single moment. And I asked those souls what their greatest torment was. They all said anonymously that what tormented them most was the longing for God. I saw Our Lady visiting the souls in purgatory. The souls call Mary the Star of the Sea. She brings them relief. I wanted to continue talking to them, but my guardian angel gave me a sign to leave. We crossed the threshold and left that prison of torment. Then I heard an inner voice which said, "My mercy does not want that, but justice commands it." Ever since I have been closer in touch with the suffering souls.